Hey, it's Bob. I'm back. Biker News Canada. Give me a second here, everybody. On YouTube, I'm just trying to get it sent over to Facebook so the people who are watching on Facebook can do so. I'm having a hard time doing it today. I don't know why, but I'll get it there. And today, I'm interviewing Ken, and Ken is in a riding club called, is it going? The RedRiders, and they're from a cool little town. If you're from Ontario, you've probably driven through it, called Parry Sound. So you know they got some beautiful riding up there. Well, I'm gonna have to assume it's going on. Yeah, it is. Okay, okay. Yeah, it's on Facebook. I tricked myself. Okay, so anyway, let's get back to where we are here. Let's get over to friend Ken. All right, Ken over here. Hey, Ken, how are you, brother?
Good, man. How are you?
Okay, I'm here. Two, there we go. I was hearing myself in two places. Wow. I was watching. It's like 5 seconds behind on Facebook, of course, right? So, Ken, good to meet you, bro.
Yeah,
Uh,
you
how
too.
long? How long you been? You look like you've been probably rowing motorcycles as long as I have. How long you been riding? All your life?
All my life, man, since I was able to walk, I've been riding.
Did you go straight to Harleys or did you start out with some sport bikes and stuff?
Yeah, motocross, and then went to race rockets to Harleys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys got a riding club up there in Parry Sound, and you guys call yourself the Red Riders or Red Riders?
Yes, sir. That's what we're called.
So how long is that club been in existence?
I believe this is our fourth summer coming up.
That's not bad. Now, did you help get it started?
Yeah, Terry and I actually are two of the founding members of it. Yeah.
Right on. Did you come from a different club background, or this is your first time getting into something organized?
I was with a small club down that kind of ran out of Cambridge, Kitchener area, and moved back up north here, and Terry decided to kind of get things rolling, so I figured I'd help him out, and away we went, and here we are.
So what was the driving factor for getting a riding club going? Was it so you could all be with your friends and ride, or a little bit of charity work for the community, or
Yeah,
what?
a lot of it's to do with charity. I mean, we've all been riding forever. Terry and I've been riding since we were teenagers together, so we've been riding a long time, and yeah, we just decided to get things going and got a club up and running, and figured if we're doing this, we might as well be raising money to help out a charity, and that's what we've been up to.
Do you basically concentrate on one particular charity, or do you spread it around?
Well, right now yeah, like this is our first year of getting the charity thing going, so we're doing the Breakfast Club up
Mm-hmm.
here, and we're doing Harvest Share as well, which is like a food bank.
Bank.
So yeah, so that's what we're raising money for at this point.
Now, no, I'm in a bit of a bigger center myself. I'm in London, and man, oh man, actually, I do my part a little bit. I try to. I ran a few rooms out to some people that are just kind of in between the street, not in the street.
Yeah.
So I give them a room, see if they can get themselves back on their course of their life and see what they're doing. Is there that? Is it very much of that going up around Perry Sound?
Not really. I mean, we obviously don't have the area to draw from like you do. I mean, we've got a spread of guys. We got a couple guys from Huntsville area and a guy down by Coldwater, and we don't have a big club. We're just keeping it fairly mellow, and
Oh, you mean your brothers? Oh, I was meaning
yeah.
like a homeless problem
No,
in
we
there.
don't really have much of that going on
Good.
up here. You know, it's such a small town, right? That I mean, it's probably not a bad idea, that's for sure. Because I'm sure there's always somebody that can use that help.
100%. Man, oh man. Yeah, it's weird stuff. I know that you couldn't get in the chat earlier today. I was doing the nightly rides video earlier this afternoon, and and this gentleman that's in the chat was trying to get in there and say hi, but he couldn't get in. So yeah, so see, you got some members down around Huntsville too, eh?
Yeah, got a couple guys from over that way, and yeah, we're
That's
kind
a
of spread out, but we're not too far apart.
that's a busy town for motorcycle groups, eh?
Yeah, it's
I've
getting
interviewed a
there.
bunch of guys. The Northern Mentors guy,
Yep.
Jason, I
Yep.
interviewed,
Yeah, I know Jason very well.
and I interviewed a guy that we became friends, Alexander from Ghost Riders.
Yeah, Bracebridge.
I don't think he's involved anymore, but I don't want to speak out of turn.
Yeah.
And another guy from named Rob from the Legion Riders.
Oh, okay.
So that's three things going on in one little town.
Yeah, I know. Biking. You know, it's getting big, and the sad part is we're losing a lot of our clubs like the Lions and stuff like that. You know, and it's the bikers that are raising the money to help people now. And you know, I'm glad you're doing this because people need to know that we're doing a lot of good things out there for a lot of things.
Well, that's it. I want to. This is only a year I'm in. I'm going to keep this thing going as long as I can. I want to change the general public's perception that if you see a bunch of people wearing patches, don't clutch your pearls, don't pull your kids closer. You're fine.
Yeah,
You're good.
exactly.
Nothing bad's going to happen here.
No, it's
Yeah.
not the 50s and the 60s anymore.
It's not. It's not the Sons of Anarchy, right?
No, and that's the problem, right? People watch those shows and they think it's real, and it's not.
I watched that show. I laughed so hard, thinking, how could you do all that stuff off a motorcycle? Well, it's easy when the motorcycle's up on a thing and it's being towed behind a pickup truck, right?
Exactly. Yeah, no, that show gave a really bad perception of what we really are. I mean, it's really too bad.
No, and the people were supposed to look at it for entertainment, and they didn't. They looked at it and went, "Oh, that must be how it really is."
Yeah, exactly.
Stefano says, "I always say bad bikers doing great things."
Yeah,
I tell you, everyone I've had up on here for an interview has been in the middle of something that's good things.
yeah,
I've had the people from they do the first aid course, Biker Down.
yeah.
Yeah, Biker Down. And I even went and took the course at the Harley dealership here
Oh,
in
in London, yeah,
And it's
yeah,
a good little course to get. If you ever get, even if you even just get your group of guys together and you contact those guys online, they'll set up, there's a certain amount of people they want to teach
yeah,
the course to at a time.
yeah,
And they'll set up and they'll make it work and come to your town and stuff, eh?
yeah,
If you ever think about it, stuff like when you take your helmet off if there's a wreck, especially with those full face helmets and all that. You
yeah,
don't want to, bugger their spine up.
yeah, absolutely.
We got Todd J in the house, all the way from beautiful PEI. Let's go freedom and unity. Family worldwide, free, equal, united world. That's what we're working towards. I think more bikers think that way than more politicians do. You know that?
Yeah,
The
I think
politicians,
you're right.
they want to keep everyone fighting so that if me and you don't like each other and they can get you to vote for one party and me to vote for that party, then they feel like they're winning somehow.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I
You
think,
look at bikers and how good they are to each other. I mean, it's a different world. I've been riding in it a long time, and my dad has been riding in it way longer than me
oh, it's
even.
hereditary.
Oh yeah, my old man's
Good
got
for
a
you,
Fat
man.
Boy Harley with 200,000 K on it, and he's been all over the friggin' country on it, and
And he was
they've met
serious
a
about
lot.
it.
Oh yeah, they've met a lot of good people, man. A lot of good people.
Even in my car, I can't go by somebody on the side of the road with their motorcycle. They're, you know, needing a hand. I have to stop and make sure they're okay.
Absolutely.
If I'm in my car, if I'm on my bike, make sure
Yeah.
whoever it is okay. Everyone's got a cell phone, but what if the guy didn't have a cell phone? The government started their
Exactly.
systems are corrupt.
Yeah.
That's right,
Exactly.
Tony. Now, Parry Sound, man, I used to sew for about 10 years after I got divorced. My ex-wife and my kids stayed in Sault Ste. Marie, and I moved down to Toronto. So I used to drive that road every second weekend,
Oh yeah. Wow.
back and forth for my weekend with my kids, because I refused to miss any of my weekends with my kids. Yeah, they are, Todd. The government said the organized criminals. They are. They are.
Yeah.
But the one nice thing I'll say about Canada right now, how it seems to be sitting right now, you still got little people in Alberta, bark, bark, bark. But I've been saying it for years. We got so many natural resources. If all of our provinces work together, and we got the stuff out of the ground that had to get out of the ground and got it to the shores, we don't really need that many other countries, except for
Not
who to do
really.
trade with.
Yeah. Really, when
Hey,
you think
Tom,
about it.
sorry, bro, go ahead.
No, and right, you're absolutely right. We've got it. We got a lot of good things happening in this country. Just too bad we don't look after ourselves first.
Yeah, we got to. We got to. We got to. We got so many people on the streets down in our major centers, bro.
Yeah.
It,
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it's ugly, man. We got to get them up on their 2 feet again,
Yeah.
and whatever it takes, whatever the cost is, we're gonna lose a whole generation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like I'm a trades guy, as you are, and you know somebody's got to come behind me and learn the same trade. You know,
That's it. They shove computers down everyone's throats, and now all these guys, they all went to university for 10 or 15 years and now they're all working at Tim Hortons.
waiting tables.
Yeah. Our tradespeople, just in Toronto alone, I know they're like 55,000 tradespeople short at this point.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I
You
was
can't even
gonna
get help.
I was gonna look into opening a trade school just for my trade, get the
Yeah.
government's help, get students in from overseas and stuff like that, and then they go and they decrease how many people we're gonna bring for students. Like
Yeah.
that for now, they kick that idea in the nuts for now, but
Yeah.
it's still out there.
Yeah.
Stefano's from Alberta. And he said that those guys have lots and lots of riders. I've never rode out there, bro. Have you ever rode out there?
No, I haven't. I've only been out east. That's really as far as I've been. Lots of Ontario, but yeah, it's beautiful country out there.
Well, the thing is, where you live, like where Ken lives, Stefano, is at the end of the shield, and so it's all rock cuts and pine trees, and water on that side, and a river on that side, and a bear crossing the highway over there, and a moose back there. It's fucking
Yeah.
wonderful up there. It is.
Oh yeah.
Jordan's Bay Area. It's great up there, man.
Yeah, she's
I
a
might have
beautiful.
oversold it a bit, but you know what I mean.
Oh, she's beautiful country, man. Beautiful country.
Like, I know guys up there who bought camps, because they're not cottages after Barrie. I think at Barrie you have to quit calling them cottages,
Yeah.
and then we call them camps, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I know guys that bought camps up there that you have to get to on a boat. There's no road to it, but he
Oh
owns that
yeah.
piece of property back there with that little cabin on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Equal
There's
right.
lots of that up here.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I mean. And geez, I remember running out of town just north of Parry Sound, and a cop came down, gave me a ride down to the gas station, gave me a ride back to my car, and on my way I went, because it was winter. He didn't want to see me sitting out there freezing to death in my little Subaru.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a day when those guys were all nice.
Well,
There's still lots of them that are good though, for sure.
that became a big narcotic route, right? So now
Yeah.
everyone that they pull over, So me, because I came from a 1% club, that's what kind of got me to retire, sort of thing. Is someone who was working with them got into our club, not even in my chapter. And anyways, the long story short is I ended up doing a little bit of time inside. So after I retired, I knew I was going to get a pardon, so I stayed away from everyone. I didn't go to any clubhouses. I didn't hang out with nobody who had a back patch, nothing like that. And I got my pardon.
Yeah. Awesome.
So it used to be when I got pulled over and I handed my license, I'd watch them go sit in the cruiser and ticket, and 2, 3 more cars would show up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's
Put the right person, put the right people in a person's life, you can change lives. We all learn from each other. And yeah, that's the other thing, Todd, is when you get these guys and you sober them up, they're people, man. Just because they're homeless today doesn't mean they weren't a person yesterday. And that's what a lot of people got to change their thinking about.
yeah. Yeah, we got to start helping our own people for sure.
Because you see him bent over and you go, junkie, and you drive on by. Hey, Billy Stacks, thanks for joining me tonight, bro. Thank you, brother. I got some of your people came and subbed over on my channel, Bill. Much love to you for that. So that's one thing. All those guys who do the biker news and the crime news and this news and that news, there's only a few of us, and we all end up being friends with each other and bouncing and off others' channels and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's
awesome. That Stacks guy I was just talking to, I've done 1, 2, 3 interviews on his channel so far. He goes, Steagle, good to see you too, bro. So last week I had the Iron Fist Veterans Club up here, and that sounds like it'll be a good run. They're going to go from Trenton to Oshawa.
Oh wow, yeah, that'll be good, bro.
Yeah, it used to be called the Highways of Heroes Run.
Yeah.
Remember we named that. So now
absolutely.
They've changed that now to, I think they're calling it Roll Call.
Oh, okay.
But it's the same run. It's just it's been handed over from whoever was running Highways of Heroes have handed it over to the Iron Fist, and these guys are going to run it.
That's good to keep it going.
Well, that's the one thing that we don't need more of, but we need to respect our vets, and we need to build up our armed forces at some point.
Yeah.
I know
I feel bad for the vets.
But they're expensive, but man, we got to spend some money somewhere.
Yeah. Those guys, I feel bad for them. There's a lot of them that have a pretty rough life after they come back, and and they just get forgotten.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. The only people that don't forget them is other vets.
Yeah.
So they're not even charging admission to go on the it's honor roll call or roll call. It might be called honor roll, but they're going to pass the hat because they've started in a couple communities to do tiny home villages.
Oh wow!
For the homeless vets,
yeah,
and get them the help that they need, and it's right on site and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's kind of like how they deal with addicts, right? It's one thing to get them sober and get them housed, but then you got to get them the help that they need so they don't get back there again, right?
Yeah, it doesn't just get fixed in a week.
And that's where I thought I would jump in. So get them sober, get them housed, get them trained in a trade, and then sick them out there on the world, because now they got self-confidence, they got a sense of purpose, and they can go, right?
Yeah, having a trade, man, it's it makes you feel pretty good at the end of the day that you did something.
Yeah. Do you do that too with your kids? Oh, I built that house, so I did that house.
Oh God, yeah. Well, both my boys actually worked for me. My oldest boy worked for me for 10 years, and then my other one, he worked for me off and on. He's a pro skateboarder, so he's all over the world skating.
Oh, good for him, man.
So he used to fill in when he was home, and then when he left, he was gone. So yeah, no, I mean, it is pretty cool to drive around the country and say you did that or did this, and you can actually see it 10 years later.
Yeah, man, that's the thing. It's got some longevity to it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I haven't been that way in a long time because now my kids live with me, thank God.
Oh,
They're
good.
they're they're, they're adults now, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. My son came back when he was in grade 8, and my daughter. Well, when I moved to the Sioux, she moved in with me, and then as I moved back coming south, she just came with me, right? So
That's awesome.
yeah, I've had her for a long time, and yeah, man, the crazy ex. I don't know what she thought she was pulling, but the kids didn't want nothing to do with that life. You
Yeah.
know, she couldn't stop, right? Some people can stop, some people can't stop. But no, anyways, are they doing to Perry Sound like they've done to all the other small towns and slapped a quick subdivision off to one side of it somewhere?
Not really. You know what? Parry Sound hasn't, it's not really growing in leaps and bounds. They've kind of, the industry here could be so much better. I mean, we got one of the most beautiful water frontages of all.
Oh, the tourism could be off the chart, man.
It could be, but for some reason, they seem to want to, keep a thumb on it, and they're trying. It's going to start, I think, by the looks of it. We got a new big motel going down at the water, and they've had a bunch of cruise ships coming in, and so I mean, I think now with
Oh,
the
I
newer
didn't know.
generation, they're getting things rolling.
How did they get a cruise ship?
The bay's pretty big, right? Like it. They used to bring big oil tankers in there years ago. So,
Oh,
so we've got a pretty big sound there that they can come in and get spun around, and so
look
yeah,
at this,
it's
guys. This is the town we're talking about, and they're up on a big thing called Georgian Bay, which is off of one of the Great Lakes called Lake Huron. So it's all see. That's a pretty. Oh, that sounds big of a boat as I thought it was. But they can get an oil tanker in there, eh?
oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it didn't come over here.
They used to come in here all the time, but then they took the tanks down.
That's me. I did that. I put a blank screen up for God's sakes. I'm glad I, my
Yep.
last dealings with Perry Sound was the kids were still with my ex. I was just getting out and I was on a bail. And so I wanted my kids for the a week or something in the summer. I took them to Wonderland and all that crap that you do. It is beautiful up there. I dropped the kids off to her in the town. I jumped back out on the highway and I was mad. She'd said something to me. I stuck my foot in it too much. I got I got pulled over, and that was the end of me going back to London.
Oh
It's a
geez.
it's a pretty little town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's there's a lot of character to it, that's for sure.
And then I stayed in Penitente for 4 months to fight the breach and lost, and they gave me time served. I came home anyway. But yeah, what a pain in the butt. So the last thing I did was drop off the kids and boom, straight to Penitente to sit around for 4 months and wear orange again. Like what a pain in the butt, man.
Yeah, things never end well when you go through that stuff.
No, it makes you emotional, and then once you're emotional, your head's not thinking right.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, yeah, it never ends good. Not very often.
no, if my emotions had stayed out of it, I would have stayed in whatever. You know what, you can go over the speed limit in Ontario, but Parry Sound's always been a slow down spot.
Yeah, there's a few of them around there.
Even in
Yeah.
the Sioux, we would slow down from just before Parry Sound to just after Parry Sound. Or I mean, even in the club, I mean, because we would ride up to the Sioux. We had a chapter in the Sioux,
Right.
and we go up as a pack, and then always inevitably somewhere between Toronto and Sault Ste. Marie, we'd be stopping for gas, and all the OPPs would come in, and they'd
Yeah.
all start writing down and doing whatever, right?
They've actually been pretty good up here now. Like the OPP's been really behind. Like they haven't been giving us guys any grief at all. Like
Oh,
they
that's good,
know they know we're doing good things. So
right? Yeah, yeah. So let's talk more about the club. So I guess out of interest, in case there is anyone who happens to, even if they're not watching now but watches it later,
yeah.
um, if they think that they might want to meet you guys and get involved with the club, what's their best way?
Well, we got bike nights Wednesday nights at the Jolly Rogers right off the 400 there. So
Fight.
that's usually where we'll all be. And I'll have to confirm the Facebook page. I for some reason I think there is one on there, but I'd have to. I don't want to say for sure.
Okay, just in case it's not up yet.
Yeah.
Now, don't mind me. I'm listening to. I just want to find that because I know I mentioned you guys on Wednesdays. I just want to share it on the screen there if I can find it. So I take it, your bike nights will be the best way to bump in you guys and say
Yeah,
hi.
because we're all there, like the whole clan's there, and you can hang out, and we're gonna get this thing up and running, and we're actually working on trying to get They used to have a big bike rally up here years ago, and then the town kind of shut it all down, and I mean it was massive. So we're
Beautiful
trying to
country, man.
yeah, well, we're gonna try and get this thing going again. So we're hoping to. That's the plan, anyways. So we're gonna get this thing big and get people coming up here and do some riding.
Good. I hope that you do it, man.
We're working at it.
Because, like I say, that as far as scenery, actually the roads ain't bad either.
No, it's pretty
Um,
nice.
I'm not finding it today, bro. Oh well. What Wednesday night? What road do you get off of again to get to the bike night? Is it both?
No, it's well, you
No,
you can't really miss it. It's I'm trying to think of the name of that road. It is
it's
uh
just before Parry Sound, or is it just
yeah,
after?
it's just south of Parry Sound.
Just south. I thought so.
Yeah, it's on the right hand side. You can't miss it.
And then the place is called the Jolly Rancher Inn. I remember that.
Jolly Rogers.
Jolly Rogers. I always say Jolly Rancher. What is that? Was that a snack or something when we were a
I
kid?
think that's a candy.
A candy, yeah, yeah.
My kids like those.
That's
And my
right. There,
grandkids.
those fruity candies. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly
yeah.
what they are.
All the grandkids like that stuff.
So George and Bay Harley Davidson is in Owen Sound.
Yeah, they're up in Owen Sound.
Okay,
Yep. They're a
that's
good bunch of guys up there too.
so. When you guys do your bike nights, everyone come and park up and just hang around, or do you go for a quick little ride?
No, we just hang out. We have a draw. We have a bunch of prizes. They've put up a big menu there for guys, so they're giving out some pretty good deals. I believe there's free mini putt and pool. They got a pool tables there, so they're giving that away to use, and then I think we give free coffee. So it's just a good place to hang out and talk about different rides and just meet people and
So your ride is basically the ride in,
yeah,
which
yeah,
is what I used to go to one down on Lake Erie from here, and it was about from my house an hour, a little over an hour ride. So that was
yeah,
the ride,
yeah,
and then you have something to eat, you shoot the breeze.
yeah. That's it. And everybody just kind of hangs out and looks at the bikes, and
Yeah,
you know, it's
and
pretty good. I mean, when I was down south, I mean, I used to ride all over the place. We used to do Paris and London and Guelph and Kitchener. I mean, you were always riding somewhere, right?
that's a nice little ride too down through Paris, down that big curvy
Yeah,
hill there.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool down there. It's nice.
it's a Highway
So
5 or something, maybe
yeah, I can't remember what that highway is.
or two. Is it 2 and 5 come together? Anyway, I don't remember anymore. Oh, I wonder. That could be why I can't find it. Some of the stuff that I saved isn't available to me anymore. That's weird, eh? That's very weird. But anyway. Oh yeah, I've had one broken biker on here for an interview. So they're an interesting group. If you get banged up in a bike crash, um, and you contact them, they'll come help out people with cold hard cash. Get you some groceries in the house.
Oh
You're not
wow.
expecting to get on a bike crash when you get on your motorcycle. You might not
Yeah.
have nothing in the bank that day, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, they're going to come and help everyone out as much as they can, and in return, if we see one of their events, try to attend it or donate
Yeah.
them some money in some way, right?
Yeah. it doesn't take a lot of money, right? I mean, $5 here. I mean, we spend that in a day at Tim Hortons, right?
Absolutely.
You put
Well,
$5 in the pot, and it's helping out a lot of people.
yeah, a month ago, I was posting up a GoFundMe for me, and I'm still, I should repost it a few more times. I did this winter killed me. I fell
Yeah.
behind. Oh man, the number's huge on my mortgage. So far, they're not saying nothing, but it's a huge number. I don't know where I'm going to go from here. But if they kick me out, I might go west and join up with Stefano out there. He said he can help me, but it's such a move to move your whole family across the
Oh
country,
yeah,
eh?
it's
Whew.
huge for sure.
So I just got myself
Absolutely.
set back up to do some subcontract work in the city where I presently am, and I've worked with them for the last 2 summers, so I know what's there potentially. And hopefully by the end of the summer, I can have everything smoothed back out and go back to whatever, right?
Yeah. Hey man, we all have our ups and downs. There's Anybody
Yeah.
says they have the perfect life, they're lying.
Oh, exactly, right. You know, and you know how it is. It all depends on where you came from and all that. Some kids get started out from behind home plate, and they're wondering why they can't. And some kids get born, they're already on third base.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, though, the ones that are like that aren't the ones that are showing up to drop a few bucks. It's always the guys that struggled their whole lives. They're the ones that show up and drop the money because they've been there, done it.
They're always the most generous. Anyone who's
Yeah.
ever had their own
Always.
struggle in life, they understand. They
Yeah.
know where the person's going. They don't even care where it's going generally, as
No,
long
they
as they
just,
want to help somebody.
yep. Well, even in our trades, right? The guy that has all the money won't even offer you a coffee or even a glass of cold water. But the guy that had to save for 5 years to put one window in, he can't offer you enough. It's a
Yeah,
coffee, and they'd even make you lunch.
it's crazy, eh? But it's like that. It's human nature, I guess. Like you say,
Yeah,
there's always greed.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that came from TV and movies, and if they're gonna keep glorifying the ultra wealthy,
yeah,
then you find out that those people are dead inside. They're empty.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They don't have no good stories to tell. How many good stories you got to tell because you build houses and you rode motorcycles?
Yep, exactly.
You know,
You know,
and the good people you've met along the way of doing both of those things.
yep, exactly. I mean, we're pretty fortunate, right? That me and myself. I mean, I've worked a lot of Ontario, met a lot of people, right? So I mean, it's pretty nice to, it seems like everywhere I go, I run into somebody I know.
Yeah, you are, Stefano. You're a kind person. And sometimes it takes other kind people to recognize other kind people too, right?
Yep,
You know,
exactly.
well, we seem to know who each other are for some reason. Because, I might be asking for money one week, but the next week, if I see a raffle ticket that's going to help out a homeless dog shelter, I'm buying a ticket, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's what we do for
Hey,
sure.
Mr. J is back. Wow. Who is that? Is that someone I know? That's crazy. One of my club guys, he was named that. Oh, okay. It is Northern Mentors. We were just talking about you, Jason. I was just saying that you've been on for an interview, and Ken was saying he's met you before down there in Huntsville.
Yeah, I know Jason well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right on. Well, yeah, when I was first getting this thing going, Huntsville really came to my rescue, and I really wanted to do these interviews for some reason. I like to talk to people. I'm curious, and it's only for an hour, right? It's not killing
yeah,
me, and
yeah,
and and, and if I get one more person to one of your bike nights, I've done my job.
yeah,
You know,
absolutely. Yeah,
and Huntsville was first people up there saying, "Yeah, I'll do you an interview. I'll do you an interview."
yeah. They do a lot of good stuff over there.
And they were offering me to come up there too for my trade as well, right? Another guy
Yeah,
up there, and there's another guy who's usually watching on Facebook, named Ricky, and he's more around Port Hope area, and he helps me out with that area of Ontario because there's so many bike nights and like you and I were talking off camera. There's so many bike nights and riding clubs now,
Oh,
and
it's
and and, and
insane.
and all that. And I think it's great because it's the motorcycle community's coming together in ways it never did when I was in it.
Oh God, no! Like the last 10 years, it's just went crazy.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
think of it, like I was following, I was kind of giving her, being her blocker. I don't think she knew a girl in her early 20s on a little, 450 something or another metric bike. You know what I mean? So it's bringing in lots of people from all over the spectrum. Yeah.
Yeah, Jay's right. It's been raining a lot.
Did
God,
it rain?
we're having a hell of a time with rain.
Did it rain yesterday on you guys?
Yeah, we got rained out.
Oh, that sucks, man. Because down here last night was the only really good night,
Yeah, it sucked. It rained on us. It's
and
supposed to be
then
nice this Wednesday, hopefully.
good. So have you had one yet? Have you been able to do
Yeah,
one yet?
our very first one, we had 30 bikes.
So that ain't bad for your very first one, and being where
Yeah,
you are.
yeah.
You don't have a whole bunch of people to pull from really in your
No,
area, do you?
no, like they're all within 40 minutes away, 45. Sudbury's an hour and a half.
Yeah,
You know, Barry's an hour and a bit. So I mean, there's guys. I know Barry Harley's going to come up and hang out with us. They're going to come
good.
up and sponsor us with
They
some
seem to be
stuff.
wanting to get more involved. I should start calling the Harley shops and seeing if they want to do a little something on my channel here.
You know what? They're pretty good, man. I'll tell you, Harley is. I've dealt with Rockies,
Yeah,
Cambridge,
and
Mississauga. I've dealt with all the Harley dealers in Ontario pretty much, and they are. I've never had a problem. They've always been good to me. They're all pretty good guys.
I should just bounce in because I know the guys are Rockies a little bit, not as
Yeah.
much as I used to back when Dino ran the place, even before he ran the place.
Well, Doug's still there. Doug,
Is
the
he?
one sales guy there, he's still ripping her there. So
And them and Blackridge are the same owners too.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, that's who I dealt with a ton was Blackbridge. I actually just bought a brand new Harley and I got it from Blackbridge.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
So you stay loyal. That's the other
yeah,
thing about bikers. We stay loyal. If you treat us
yeah,
good and give us a proper deal, we'll be
yeah.
back.
Between them and Barry, I mean Barry's been good to me too.
Now
So
they good.
yeah.
How many dudes you say you have in your club? Are you up over 10? Down around
No, no, we're just sitting around 6 right now.
six round?
We're just kind of keeping it mellow.
And did you guys get a set of patches made up for you
Yep.
for the members?
Oh yeah, no, we got our own vests and
Now, without getting too into club bylaws and stuff, and if you don't want to answer, just say I'm not going to answer. Whatever. Did you guys? I noticed a bunch of the riding clubs are starting to do perspective periods and stuff like that, and
oh
some of
yeah,
them are yeah.
yeah. We still have our prospects. Yep,
So you're doing the thing. You're kind of
yep,
modeling after a traditional MC.
yep, yeah, yeah. It's Terry and I have rode together for years, right? So we already knew, but all the other guys, everybody's done their time, and so it's worked
Do
out
they
good.
got to be on a Harley to come with you guys or
No,
no?
oh no, no, no.
And
I don't
and
know. A Vespa might be a bit much, but
and
no, no,
is it co-ed?
no, no, it's not.
It's a man's club.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just
And you know what? That's all starting to change too, right?
was that's why I asked because of the one club I was mentioning to you. What were they called again? Started with an I, and their P and their VP were women, so I thought they were a women's club.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, we just happen to be the P and the VP. I said, okay, well, good to meet
Yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
So good on them.
Yeah.
Good on them. The outliers, that's what it was. And stuff like I guess it depends on how you want to do it. Like there's stuff like the Southern Cruisers and all that, and those guys are what are they, international now, or they're North
Yeah,
American
they're pretty
anyway?
big. They're pretty big for
And I think
sure.
it's the same sort of thing that the man can have a cut, and the woman who's riding her bike and gets her cut too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's so many clubs, right? I mean, and I mean the women riding now is unbelievable. I mean, it's like quadrupled in friggin' the last 5 years, even, like,
huge amounts, eh?
oh God, like there's a bunch of MCs that are
Yeah,
women's clubs,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
I know it's pretty crazy. Like I
I
said,
try. I tried to get. I spoke to one of them and asked if they wanted to come up for an interview. They didn't want nothing to do with it.
yeah,
I'm like, okay, it's not like I'm asking a 1% club to come tell me all their secrets.
yeah, yeah. You know what? I don't know, but I mean, it's just good to see, right? Everything's evolving.
But the cool thing is, yes, and there's that, and the cool thing is there's no set script how you have to go about making yourself a group of motorcycle riders.
Yeah.
Like if you don't want to have a cut in a 3P patch, you don't got to.
No.
You know what I mean? If you want to be all women's, and there's another group I interviewed from Ottawa area, but they're an online group. So the lady that made it up and got it running is in Ottawa, and the other two people that were in the interview, one was in Oshawa, one was down by Belleville, I think, and they just put they just run the whole thing off of Facebook.
Oh wow.
So if a girl wants to go for a ride on Saturday, and she's like, "Hey, I want to go for a ride on Saturday," they obviously know where she's from, or she puts where she's from,
Mhm.
who's in, couple-hour ride, and then the other girls will respond, "Yeah, let's go," and then they make a location, then they
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's not a big meeting. There's not let's all go to church and all get together about it and stuff
Yeah.
like that. It's just put a post, and whoever rides with you rides with you.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, you see a lot of that, right? There's a lot of people that just ride and meet up with people at Tim Hortons, and away they go.
Yeah, yeah.
No destination, just go for a ride.
And then yeah, that is cool, eh, Tommy? So there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of different ways. Um, so some guys are calling themselves a riding group.
Yep.
Um, I've lost contact with my one guy because he's a Thursday nighter, and I just did my Thursdays. Peter from Hamilton, the Open Road Riders. That's what they're called. Yeah, because and that's what he did. He got together with a couple of his buddies that already rode, and then decided how they were gonna put their artwork and stuff, and went to a meeting, one of those councils, and hey, how are you? Right, and away
Yep.
they go.
Yep.
And a lot of the clubs too, instead of trying to run a whole bunch of different events and kind of doing not say half-assed, but not being as happy with them as you want to be,
Yep.
because they're a lot of work, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like a poker run and a
Yep.
dice run is one set of work. You get up to an overnight party where people got to eat, sleep, and food and bathe, and then you're into a whole different animal,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you going to Bob Cajun Saturday?
I can't. I'm going down to see my granddaughter.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
was supposed to be in Bob Cajun too, Jason, but I can't come either, bro. I got to message them guys and tell them, yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Oh
We
yeah,
are
I
in the
think it's
club
going to
booth,
be
guys.
real good there. It's supposed to be a decent weekend, so hopefully it works out good for them.
Yeah, that's it's always weather depending, right?
Yeah, this time of year for sure.
Yeah, then you can do it like Stefano does it. They don't even have a club or anything. They just got a set kind of what is it? Kind of like a core group of people that hang out.
Yep.
And then, if you meet a buddy along the way and he wants to go out with you guys, bring him.
Yep.
Sometimes it's scary running the highway with a bunch of people you don't know how they ride, eh? I
Yeah,
I
that
don't
that's
know.
the that can be the tricky part, especially when you do these bike rallies and stuff, right? Like, you just never know what you're gonna get yourself into.
Yeah, man. What if you're behind that person who's a brake jammer or something? I
Yeah.
hate brake jammers.
Yeah. We've had a few of them. I've rode behind a few of those guys, and it's like they hold the whole lineup back, and yeah,
Or they
it
throttle down for no reason. It's like, why are you rolling off? Quit rolling
yeah,
off.
yeah. You run into all kinds, but you know what? That's the way it is, right? When you do these bike runs and stuff, you got all different calibers of riders, right? And you take the good with the bad.
Well, you have to, and sometimes it's what it needs. They need to gain their confidence, and then in a few more rides, they won't be like that no more.
Absolutely. I mean, hey,
But
we
if
all started there, right?
yeah, so if nobody lets them in at the start, how are they going to get to where
Yep.
it just makes sense.
Yep.
I would get on my bike when I first got my first bike was a Harley, jumped right into an FXR. I took that course, and every day I would get on that motorcycle.
Yep.
And even if it's by myself or one other guy and just ride around the city and ride around the city and just get used to whatever you got to get used to because riding a bike is riding a bike, right? You
Yep.
can't explain it all to you. So there's no
No.
sense me explaining it to you, you know.
Yeah. But you know what? It's intimidating for people that are just starting out, right? Like, I mean, if you're in a
Sure.
big group of people, that can be pretty intimidating.
Imagine the first pack I jumped into was a whole pack of 1%er bikers who've been doing it for years. And I was in the States. Wow, man. What a trip.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be 0 to 100 in about 2 seconds.
Thundering through Michigan, like you could feel the vibration of the bikes. There were so many bikes, it was phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the Northern Mentors, you guys are having a booth in Bob Cage, and you're raffling off that spider. Is it a spider?
Yeah, I think that's what they got going on there.
Yeah, because they're not doing their bike night this week. They're
Yeah.
already going to be down, and that's such a pretty little town too, eh, Bob Cajun?
Oh yeah, it's beautiful over there. I've only been there once.
Me
Drove
too.
through it once, and it's actually pretty. It's a nice little town.
I stayed there just once. I had back when I was in Toronto. I'm an entrepreneur by heart. I bought a food trailer
Oh,
and I did an event in Bob Cajun.
oh, geez.
I stayed in their little hotel, the little pay for the night motel
Oh yeah,
and all that. It was good though, man. Riker, it's a Riker.
yeah. That's what it was. Yeah.
And Stefano, you stay on the tail. So I got a funny story about being on the tail. When I was in the club, this guy, like I say, that was no good, and he slipped in with another chapter and whatever. This shit happened. It's 20 some years ago. So he was an old man. And now that's what got my alarm bells going off about this guy right away. I'm like, why is a guy his age want to just start into the biker life now
Yeah.
at this point in his life? Right. And he was buying things off people and doing stuff. And every time we got him down on the highway to go like to Toronto or St. Catharines or Ottawa or whatever, he'd be like half an hour behind the pack almost. So I had this hot rod bike. I was usually the blocker guy. So I'd fall back with him. And then I'd get behind him and I'd chase him up the highway. in the pack.
Jeez.
It looks ridiculous. A whole pack of guys with the same patch on, and then there's this guy putting down the road later. That's not how a bike club rolls, man. Not at all.
No, not at all.
All together or don't come.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And of course, that wasn't an option either. So let's get on the highway and ride the damn thing.
Yeah.
MC does not stand for my car. That's what the one guy used to yell all the time. MC doesn't stand for my car. And I'd laugh and I'd laugh.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, eh?
Well, that's it. Like I say, back then, everyone who had a Harley almost, not everybody, but a good percentage of them felt like they had to be in a hardcore club.
Yeah.
I don't think half of them really wanted to be there.
Yeah.
So now you see the same clubs, different numbers, different cities, still out there doing whatever it is that they do because they're bikers. Bikers are going to always be around.
Yeah.
And the numbers have dropped down because now there's other options for people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Some people that lifestyle wasn't all they wanted to do was ride their Harley to the titty bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They didn't want to get in a big confrontation with someone or have all
Yeah.
these, the man in blue kicking their doors and wearing orange. A lot of that's, you know, a lot of guys just don't want any side of that. So there's no
No,
sense joining a 1% club.
they just want to ride.
I shouldn't say it like that because obviously not every biker's even in a 1% club is a criminal. I shouldn't. I It's just how it came out. You know what I mean? But if it's one of those kind of clubs and that's the situation that it's in, then that's how it goes. Even if your club's in conflict with another, it doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean you were there.
Yeah.
Just
Hey, I'll
sometimes,
tell you, I've met a lot of people along my path, and I've never, I can honestly say I don't think I've ever met a 1%er that was disrespectful or, you
no,
know, like I said, a lot of those guys, it's not the '60s anymore. I mean, a lot of it's changed, right?
right. Well, exactly. Like look what happened the last two times. I did something out of the paper off the web, and it was 81 in the loners, allegedly. This is just up to the story, which is up to the cops, which is why I decided I didn't want to do that because I don't want to perpetuate the cops' stories before the guys who've been charged have had a chance to go through court. They're not going to get on the witness stand. I understand that, but just because the cops said it happened doesn't mean it happened, right?
No,
So
we're just easy
allegedly,
to blame.
right. So allegedly, the 81 and a club called the Loners had some words downtown in two different cities, and maybe some fisticuffs might have happened. And in both cases, it ended up being their clubhouse, the support guys' clubhouse, plus the people who were there during the incident all got their doors kicked in. And so at that point, is it worth it anymore?
Yeah.
Right?
Nobody wants the grief anymore. It's not
No.
worth it.
You know how much lawyers cost?
Yeah, well, that's just it, right? It's
Gee.
just nobody wants it.
Mm-mm.
And that's why I keep saying, like, you look at what these guys are all doing, they're all raising a ton of money, man, to try and help people out, like everything. Like, it's insane what bikers are doing now. Like you said, anything from dogs and cats to helping people off the street to helping kids to cancer patients, whatever, right? Like, we're what's left, man. We're taking over that world, and we're going to be the ones people are going to be coming to looking for money when things go sideways, because all these other big clubs that have been around forever are all disappearing. You
Yes.
know?
Yep. And, because like you say, nobody wants the aggravation. And there'll always be the bigger clubs and the big clubs, the ones, the big three and the big five and all that,
Yeah,
however they say them and all that. It was cool to be in there. When I was in there, I don't get me wrong, I loved it.
yeah,
I really loved it because I never liked society anyway. So
yeah,
if you don't love society's rules and you're not big on what the government tells you got to do, and
yeah,
then there's your choice.
yeah,
And you like bikes. Turned out I like bikes. I didn't even know I like bikes till I rode one.
yeah. That's a lot of people, though.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I
a
was
lot of
always a car
people.
guy. My dad was a mechanic, right? He used to build racing cars for drag racing.
Oh yeah, right on.
So I like to go fast, but the only time I ever rode a bike when I was a teenager, I was drunk off my ass, and me and my buddy had a job at a truck stop, and he was working. And that night, I was drinking, so I went in the truck stop to get something to eat, and he had his Nighthawk sitting there. I go, let me ride that thing. He goes, yeah, no problem. He goes, it's one down, the rest are up. Away you go. So I jumped on the thing, and away I went. It was all going good. I got through a couple gears, and then I realized I had to stop at the end of the driveway,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a plan for that.
Yeah. We've all had those moments.
All right, Jason, thanks for popping in tonight, brother. Much respect. Have a great weekend of Bob Cajun.
Yeah, see you, Jay.
Oh, they have a clubhouse too, eh? That's cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah, man. Well, that's cool. No, I'm glad I got to meet you, Ken, man. Now are you guys going towards one big event this summer aside from the bike nights?
I'm not so sure. I don't think so. I mean, I think we're just trying to get this off the ground, and and then we'll see where that leads to, and we'll just go from there. And I mean, our goal is to get this big bike thing going again like they used to have up here.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like Dover, it was massive. Like people came
nice,
from the
man.
States. There was even, and I used to ride a race rocket back then, and it was a sport bike event, but guys came from Germany, like they were from all over the
Wow.
country. Oh, it was big, man. It was a huge, huge event. But, the town didn't like it, and so anyways, now we're all older and we're all riding different bikes. Now we're
Yeah,
going to try and get it going in a different aspect, but we're hoping to try and get it as big as we can, and have, put Parry Sound on the map maybe for something big like that. So,
that'd be really cool. Well, make sure whatever you got going on, keep me in the loop.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
that Facebook page that I have, the Biker News Canada Facebook
Yep.
page, I left it open so you can post directly onto it.
Okay,
So
awesome.
you can take whatever poster you make up for your bike
Yep.
night, and you can stick it right up there as a post.
Okay, yeah, I'll let Terry know, and then he can put that. He'll put our flyer up there for you, and
Yeah, yeah. And then the other good option is, and don't feel, like you got to be there at any particular speed. We this year we got to do bike nights. Next year we got to do a poker run. A year after that we
yeah,
got to do a rally. Don't put yourself on no schedule. You know that. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm not talking to somebody that doesn't know.
yeah,
And in the meantime, I see a lot of the riding clubs, and they interact, and they help each other. So if one guy's
yeah,
if the club in Huntsville is having a poker run, go show them there's by
yeah,
coming as a group, right?
yeah. And that's what we try to do, right? We try to do that as much as we can. Like a
Yeah.
lot of the guys go over Friday nights and do that, and we go with the Bracebridge group there. We run there. They have an event they do, and I think it's for hospice, and we go with
Oh
them.
yeah, they do one for hospice, don't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we usually run on that, and we sometimes split the club up to do different rides, right? Just
Nice.
depends on what's going on, at least show someone show up.
And then once in a while, you gotta have a weekend where if your wife doesn't like to hang out on the back of the bike or doesn't ride with you, you gotta take a weekend. Then once in a while, just to hang out with your family.
Yeah, I'm lucky, man. My wife, she loves the bike. She's really good at being on there. She does a lot of photography and stuff like that, so she does a lot of the filming while we're riding and stuff. So
That
it's
makes
pretty
it
good.
so much better when both people are into it.
Yeah, no,
You know,
no, I'm pretty lucky that way for sure.
good for
But
you.
yeah,
And she doesn't want to bother getting on her own.
no, she likes being on the back, taking pictures
Yeah,
and videos and
it,
stuff.
it's
So
safe back there on the bagger. You got nowhere to
yeah,
go.
yeah, no, she's good back there, man. She does she gets some pretty awesome stuff. So I'm pretty sure Terry's got that Facebook page up and running, but I'll have to confirm it with them. And
Yeah, and like I say, just ask Terry to post whatever. He can post a
yeah,
link to the Facebook page directly to it also.
okay,
All that sort of stuff. I don't mind at all.
yeah,
And yeah, man, no, it was great to meet you, Ken.
yeah.
Did we miss anything about the club that we wanted to
No,
talk about?
no, we're just a bunch of guys riding a bike.
Yeah, man.
That's what
Beautiful.
it's about, man. Being on two wheels.
All right. I dig it. I dig it, Ken. Thanks so much for coming on, eh?
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Okay. I hope to see you out there on the road one day.
You just might see me.
All right, brother.
Okay, take care, brother.
Good night. Hey,
Okay.
Ernest, how are you, bro? Oh, we were just removing. We were just wrapping up tonight, Ernest. Shit, man. Thanks for dropping in, though. So that was Ken, RedRiders RC, Parry Sound, Ontario. Another good group of guys doing good shit out there in the motorcycle community. As long as it keeps happening out there, I'll keep doing these shows. As long as you guys keep on watching them, I'll keep on doing them. And much love to Ken and the Red Riders and Parry Sound, and all the success to you guys. All right. And in the chat, all you guys that come along, Stefano, you're becoming a regular, you're becoming a friend, and I love you for that, bro. Ernest, thanks for dropping in. Tommy Manic, also, you're becoming a friend of mine. Also, it's kind of weird. I never thought you could actually make friends over the internet, but here we are. And also Billy Stacks, of course, for dropping in and saying hi. Thanks, everyone, and thanks, Stefano. And Ghost Eagle, brother, thank you for coming on as well, bro. Much love to you, Ghost Eagle. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow night. I got the whole weekend's worth of stuff to tell you about. And June 7th is about the heaviest day in the summer that I can recall. Much love, guys. Good night.